Hi Phoebe, it's nice to see you again. I'm Nadine. I'm going to give you 4 examples of empathy. We're going to have 3 examples of effective empathy, which are invitational empathy, basic empathy, and inferred empathy. And I'm also going to show you a final example of a negative example of empathy. So we will begin with invitational empathy. So Phoebe, you were telling me a little bit about some of the issues in your life right now. Can you tell me how they're making you feel?
They're making me feel overwhelmed, like I can't do what I'm meant to do at the moment, like go to school and work at the same time. It's becoming very stressful and overwhelming.
Well, thank you for sharing that with me, Phoebe. That was an example of invitational empathy. I invited her to share her feelings with me, which she did, and as our session would progress, we would explore those feelings. The second type of empathy we will show you is basic empathy. So, Phoebe, tell me a little bit about what's going on with you.
Well, right now I just finished midterm, so that's a big relief, and it really let go of some of my stress, but I can feel like more is coming on as time is progressing, especially when tests are coming up and placement stuff, so it's kind of overwhelming right now again.
Okay. Well, Phoebe, I really appreciate that you're sharing with me these feelings of overwhelmness and stress, but also relief. So I find it incredibly helpful for our session that you are sharing these things with me, as we can look forward to progressing with discussing these feelings some more. So that was an example of basic empathy. I did nothing to judge what type of feelings she had. I acknowledged the ones she shared with me, and I did not make any other judgments. We just acknowledged the feelings she had in a very basic way. The final effective type of empathy we will demonstrate to you is inferred empathy. So Phoebe, from what I'm noticing, it appears to me that you seem a little bit anxious right now. You're kind of playing with your mouth a little bit, chewing on your fingers. Am I right in assuming that you're feeling a little anxious?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So that was an example of me inferring empathy, as she didn't come outright and tell me that she was anxious. I was noticing her nonverbal communication and her body language. So I did, of course, make sure that I asked her if I was correct in assuming that she was anxious. I did not just come outright and say, "You're anxious." So that was 3 examples of effective empathy: inferred, basic, and invitational. I will provide you with one more example of a poor method of empathy. So, Phoebe, can you share with me the most stressful thing that has happened to you recently?
My car broke down right before I did school, and that was very stressful and overwhelming.
You know what? I totally hear where you're coming from. Recently, I just had my car break down. Made me feel completely stressed out, and I couldn't handle it. I didn't think I was going to have the money to pay for it. So, girl, I totally get where you're coming from. So that was an example of bad empathy. I obviously shared with her an experience that I had, which was totally non-invited by her. She didn't ask for my experience. I just shared it without permission. And I was incorrect in just assuming that I knew exactly what she was going through, when we all have different experiences in life and nobody really knows what's happening exactly in someone else's life. So this has been 4 examples of empathy with your therapist, Nadine. We're done.